two things are going to happen tonight. First, we are going to prepare a holiday weeknight meal, and it's going to be salmon burgers. I'm going to take salmon from Costco and I'm going to make it into burgers for dinner. And I might even put together a tablescape. So stay tuned, because you know I always throw something else at the end so that you can stay and see what's going on here at Ebony Ivy and Thyme. I'm Leona Dooley, and this is Ebony Ivy and Thyme, where we work hard, we love God and family, and we know without a doubt that everything else is just gravy. Now, it's here in my kitchen where we do things in the kitchen for the kitchen. And you know, that could be decorating, that could be cooking, that can be chit chat, or it can be meal planning. All kinds of things are done right here in the hub of the house, which is your kitchen, where everybody gathers. So stay right there, get your seat, get some coffee or whatever your beverage of choice is, and let's get down to business. If you love fresh salmon, then this is going to be the meal for you. And the cool thing is that this is a weeknight holiday meal. So that means that it's not going to take more than 30 minutes. The ingredients for this meal includes olive oil, fresh salmon that you are going to chop. You're also going to have chopped, sautéed, and cooked onions, red peppers, and celery. You're also going to need breadcrumbs. You can use bread that you have dried, or you can use unseasoned Panko breadcrumbs. You're also going to need a little mayonnaise and some salt, pepper, paprika, onion and garlic powder, cayenne, your favorite seasonings. You could even use some obey. And to serve this burger, you're going to want some really nice buns. I'm using the everything type buns. You're going to want some lettuce, maybe some sliced tomatoes, and some tartar sauce, and maybe even a little mustard. Now tonight we're going to put together a little special tartar sauce that's going to include all the flavors that I like. So stay tuned. Now here is our fresh salmon from Aldi's that I've taken out of the package. And as you can see, I have taken the skin off, and I'm just cubing the salmon, just cutting it up. And the reason for doing this is because we're going to want this chopped up. So I'm just going to start with it here. And if you have something special that you can use that will chop it up even faster, but this way you can determine the size of your pieces. Now the advantage of doing a salmon burger using fresh salmon is exactly that. You have larger pieces of salmon. It's hasn't been cooked, hasn't been prepared. You see, I'm taking another knife and going through that salmon because I want small dice, but I don't want big, huge chunks because I want those seasonings to really go through the salmon. So I'm just taking my time and chopping through the salmon itself. So I'm doing it in all directions. And certainly, as you finish using items, you're going to want to make sure that you put them into some good, hot, soapy water and try to keep your surfaces as clean as possible. So I'm taking that salmon and putting it into the bowl because this is where the magic for the burgers is going to happen. Now, you'll see off to the side that I have celery, some red pepper, and some onions that I have already chopped, and they're just sitting there waiting. Now what we're going to need to do is that we're going to need to saute those, and I've put together our seasonings. I've got those things ready. So here's our salmon. I'm bringing that a little closer so I can work with a little bit. And we want those seasonings to go through. So I've got onion powder. I've got some cayenne. I've got some paprika. I start off with a little bit of it. I even put in some oregano and a little bit of lemon, and just to freshen it up. So I'm just going to take my fork and kind of get those seasonings throughout the fish. And so we're mixing that up. Now, the longer this stays together, then the better it's going to be. So you could really prep this the night before while you're fixing your 30-minute meal. You could put this together, have it ready to go, and that way those burgers would be nice and cold and what I call solidified to a point of where it won't be quite as difficult to put them together. But I wanted to get this done in 30 minutes, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take these vegetables, I'm going to go over to the stove, and we are going to saute our vegetables. Now on the stove, I have a little small skillet because, like I said, we're just preparing for two, but you would probably need a full-size skillet if you were going to prepare for a family of, say, 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be. So we are going to get that skillet up to temperature. We're going to add a little bit of oil. You can use EVOO, you can use grapeseed oil, you could even use just vegetable oil. But we're going to put those vegetables in, and I'm looking at how much I have of each. I got happy when I started chopping those vegetables and getting them all cut up. So I'm going to save a few of those vegetables for the salad tonight and just add those to the salad. So whatever's left, that's where it's going. But all of this that's in this skillet is going to go into the salmon. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper because after all, you need to season each layer of flavor. And you can see I'm not putting a ton because I don't want them to be over salted or to have too much pepper. So we're doing that. I've got my wooden spoon. Now, while that's sauteing, I'm putting together the sauce that's going to go on the bun. So I have a huge heaping teaspoon of mayo. I'm adding in a little swizzle of mustard. And as you can see, there's no measuring going on. I'm just looking at it. And I'm really looking at the color. I like mustard. If you don't like mustard, you could certainly leave it out, but the mayo is a definite. Now, so I'm going to get that nice and mixed up, and I want this to have a little bit of pink. So you're going to see that I'm going to play around with that. Now, I have some chopped, these are sweet and spicy pickles. Not spicy in that they're hot, but they are pretty, they've got a little bit of kick. And so I'm putting those in. I chop those up and I'm stirring those around because I'm doing this pretty early because I want all these flavors to have a chance to meld together. So we're just giving it a good spoon, and I'm trying to be careful and not put too much juice into this because I don't want it too runny. Now, as we look at this, we may want a little, I think I want a little sriracha, and just to kind of bring that flavor up. And it's also going to give me that pink color that I want. So sriracha, it will be, and I'm giving it a little shake. And I'm not putting a lot because, like I said, I don't want it to be hot. I want it to just have a good flavor. So I'm just squirting a tiny bit in. And, this is one of those things. And because we don't have eggs in this, you could certainly take the end of your spoon and just taste along the way until you get the flavor that you like. Now, like I said, we like a little bit of heat, but not a lot. And so the sweetness that's in those pickles is going to be enough. And I call this a little remoulade sauce, but you know, most people are going to call it just some tartar sauce. So I'm adding in a little bit more of that pickle. And in fact, I'm going to use it all. But you see, I'm trying to be careful and not get all the juice in. So that's what I'm kind of playing around with. There we go. And we're going to give that another stir. Now, I'm looking at the color and thinking, not quite where I want it. So we're going to just kind of play around with what we're putting in. You could add a little salt, a little pepper. I'm giving it a little taste. And, well, let's give it just a little bit more sriracha. Now, you know what I did when I was squeezing that sriracha, forgot that I had tightened that cap. So I'm struggling with this for a minute, trying to figure out why in the world isn't that sriracha coming out? Boy, that would have been a mess. Okay, so we've gotten the top back on and we're ready to go. So let's give that a little more stir. And we've got a faint pink, and that's kind of where I wanted it. I don't want any ketchup in this because it is not Thousand Island. So there's my taste. I got it where I want it. It's ready to go. So I'm peeking over at the vegetables because I want them to be ready, but I don't want to overcook them. So here's our sauteed vegetables, and they are ready to go. Now I'm going to take them off the fire eventually because I want them to cool down just a little bit. Now, if you weren't trying to get all this done in 30 minutes, you could certainly pour these out on a sheet pan and allow them to really cool. But I just set it off to the side and let it do a quick cool, so to speak. So we're pulling it off, turn the heat off because we won't need that right now. And so we're going to let those vegetables cool. I'm going to put our sauce that we've made in the refrigerator. And so now that everything is cool, we're going to add it to our pan. Now, as you can see, there's some things that we could certainly do in advance, and that would just save us tons and tons of time. But this meal really did come together very quickly. And you know, fish cooks fast. We're talking maybe 5 to 6, 7 minutes for the burgers to actually cook. And then we're going to be sitting down to dinner. So here we go. We're mixing those vegetables in and just kind of working with that. This is going to be delicious. You will not believe. It is going to be so good. And you know, using that fresh salmon just makes it. Now what I did, I took a couple of pieces of bread. I had dried them and I crushed them. So I have my own breadcrumbs that I'm using. I decided to go ahead and add in 1 egg. So I'm going to need to, we need to make sure that we have that 1 fresh egg, and that's going to be our binder to hold it together because I'm not going to use a lot of breadcrumbs. And you're going to see, like I said, 2 slices of bread was all I used that I dried, left it out so it could dry. In fact, I put it in my oven on 200 and then just turned it off and let the bread sit in there until it got hard and stale and whatever, and just totally dried out. So I'm using that, just sprinkling it in, and I'm going to press this down. And for me, I wanted this to get a little cold because I thought it would be easier to handle. You see how few breadcrumbs that I use. Now there's our buns. We're going to be using brioche buns. And these brioche buns we got from Aldi's. Alrighty, we've got our oil in the skillet. It's nice and hot. So it's going to be time to put our salmon burgers in the skillet and cook them. It's only going to take about 3 minutes on each side. So I am going to get my little spatula here and just scoop them out. One, I'll put it in my hand. Give them a little mash. One. Two. And the third one. Three. So I'm going to let those do their thing. I'm going to get cleaned up and we're going to be ready for dinner in just a few minutes. Now while they're cooking, I have our brioche buns, and these are the brioche buns that have the little everything on top. That's what the big guy loves, those. Now I'm going to take some of our remoulade that we made and place some on the buns. Go on one. Okay. And we have to have lettuce. So I like turning my lettuce down so it curls downward. So I'm putting it on the bottom section. So when I sit it in, and I like a lot of lettuce. And there's one more little leaf, so we're going to stick those there. So when those salmon burgers are ready to come out of the skillet, they're going to go right there. Everything's ready. Now I flip them over, and I'm going to let them get a little brown and toasty on the other side. Well, our burgers turned out beautiful. I prepared the plates with the buns and added our remoulade sauce as well as the lettuce. I decided not to put tomatoes on these buns because I just didn't want the moisture on the sandwich, and I think they were better for that, especially since they had all the peppers and all those good things in the burger itself. But as you can see, these 3 burgers are really pretty, and they fried well, and they are far better than any croquette will ever be. You know, guys, I am so glad that you came to visit today, because it was one of those days where I was just kind of feeling lonely. And so when you're here, I know I'm not alone. There's someone there. Of course, we have a higher person who's there, and he is certainly right here in my heart. And so let's think about those things this week. Take a moment, help someone else. Take a moment to pray for someone who has lost someone in all the midst of the things that are going on here with the coronavirus. And let's pray for those who are taking care of those who have been stricken with the coronavirus. Our nurses, our doctors, our emergency people, our police, all these people are pulling together, trying to get those who are sick where they need to be. Now, I hope you're taking precautions and taking care of yourself and your family, that you're staying within your bubble, and that you are safe. Now, if you have to go outside of your home, certainly protect yourself. It's not that crazy. We can survive. We can get through this if we work together and do the things that we need to do. So, I pray blessings over you each and every day. For those of you who are new, that's what I do. Know that you are family, and family is special. And so we are a family. We have new family members, and we have family members who have been around quite a while. And so I certainly am thankful to all of you. Share this video with some friends, and if you have a minute, watch one of the other videos. I've got a lot of videos out there that I think you might find something you and someone else you know may like. Now don't leave, because I've added something for my table, and you need to see what it is. Well, let's see what we can do to this table. I have a new item that I haven't used before. This charger, it's dark green, and it's from last year's Christmas from Pier 1. And I decided, since I got it on sale, that I was going to use it today because it's perfect with these placemats and runner, which also has the same green, of course, because it's the Christmas green. So I'm going to put that placemat down, and it's just the two of us. It's going to be just the two of us on Christmas, and it's just the two of us right now. So I am going to give you several ideas of things that you might be able to do. Now, for tonight, because it is just the two of us, I'm going to keep it simple. Excuse me if I walk in front of you. I'm starting with a green charger, and I love using easy cleanup. You know, this is about weeknight holiday dinners, and you love having easy cleanups. So this is a paper plate that I'm going to put in, but this paper plate is not just any paper plate. This paper plate is absolutely beautiful, and it looks wonderful with my candy cane striped napkins that I'm going to put right here. See if I can go around you. There we are. And you see we have our centerpiece. And let's see, we need glasses. These little glasses are some that I got, I believe, at Walmart. And I tell you what, they're heavy, but they're kind of decorative. They look nice with no matter what your beverage is. So we're believing in the magic of Christmas. So I'm going to bring you in just a little bit closer so you can see. Now, starting with our centerpiece, I switched it out. You can see I have a little lantern, and it has no glass. You can see I've added a little bit of candy cane over there to our tree, and I'm going to be adding more as time goes by. Added to the little lantern that's over there. And you know, I told you for Christmas I was going to bring out more red. Red's my favorite color anyway, but I love the snowiness of this tree. And this tree will probably stay into January, but without the peppermint. Now, so let's take a look. Now, like I said, this is our weeknight holiday meal. So we are keeping it easy, keeping it simple, light cleanup, We have our paper plate. And you know, when you buy paper plates for things like this, buy one that is beautiful. And this one is absolutely beautiful. Look at that pretty tree. It is so nice. And I use cloth napkins all the time, mainly because they're recyclable. Now I'm going to give you a little switch up. Now everyone knows the name of Linux, and this is a Linux plate. And you see how pretty it looks on that green charger. Oh my goodness. Everything just blends together. So I added the candy cane this time, the candy cane napkin, to the glass. So when you sit down, you got the look of the candy cane and you got the glass. But I'm going to take you around because there's someone you haven't seen over on this side. And there he is. It's my little candy cane. He's wearing his candy cane scarf, holding the gingerbread house, and he's perfect for my kitchen. And of course, here's the second setting. Now, before Christmas, probably on Christmas Day, I'm thinking I'm going to have a dressier look. And I may change all of this out and put something really swank for Christmas. Or I may get in my warm fuzzies and we end up with more paper plates and plates and napkins and done. So we'll just have to see what the weather brings. Now, you know, my friends, it is always fun to be right here with you at Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, where we work hard, we love God and family, and we know without a doubt that everything else is just gravy. And you know, today we've made our salmon burgers. They're going to go on our paper plates because after all, this is a weeknight holiday meal that we have prepared. And we want it easy. You've worked, or you've been to school, or you've done both, depending upon where you are in life. And you may be busy tonight wrapping gifts or whatever for your children, or just getting your children through the normal everyday. So, I don't know about you, but I love having one of those evenings when I can get things done and I don't have to worry about what my table looks like, because you know what? That's important to me. When I sit down to a table, I want it to look pretty. Now, of course, you're thinking, okay, oh my God, I'm not going to invite her to my house because I just have a plain table. It's okay. It's okay. That's at your house. But when I'm at my house, I have certain expectations of my table. And I want that table to be beautiful. And even if we are eating on paper plates, they can still be breathtaking. So take a moment. You know, you'd be surprised, adding just that little bit of spark to your table. It makes everyone around the table, the first thing they're going to do is go, wow, Mom. Wow. And they're going to look around and think, wow, look what Mom did for us. They are thrilled. And, you know, you just kind of stand back and smile because it wasn't that hard. It was a paper plate. And when they're finished, you just stand there smiling sweetly and say, okay, guys, put your plates in the trash. And that's exactly what they'll do. And cleanup is just that fast. So let's get those weeknight holiday meals done, cleanup done, and quick, and spend the rest of the night with the family. So, blessings to those of you who are new and those of you who have been with me all along.
I am certainly enjoying having you here. I love your comments. Tell me about your Christmases. What are some of the things that you like to do? We love to sing. Well, let's put it this way. I love to sing. And I love Christmas carols. And I like getting everybody singing those Christmas carols, or we'll put on some jazzy Christmas music and everybody starts dancing, or whatever it may be. But it's a family time. So let's have a good time. Let's enjoy each other. And even though it's just the two of us, don't think we're going to sit around like some old fogies. We are going to enjoy our evening, and I hope you will do the same. So, see you soon, right here at Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme.